unplug the microphone and see if that makes any difference. 3, 2, 1. Testing. Unplug the microphone and see if that makes any difference. Alright, we have the microphone is out. And I'm going to plug in the power cable. Hopefully that doesn't create any interference. Right, we have the microphone is out. Alright. Mute on that. Says that I am streaming. Cast alert. Broadcast alert. Nope, we are good. We are streaming live. So how do I see if I have any viewers? View on watch page. Okay. And there's my chat. Welcome to the first Talk and Tie. All right. Let's see if I can't share this on Facebook. See if we can't build an audience. Join me on my first Talk and Tie on YouTube. All right, we'll see if this works. We'll see if I get anybody online. Gonna stream here for a little while. I got a few flies to tie. This is what we're tying. It is called a Westward Bug. See if I can't get the picture of it. See if that'll go in focus. That's it right there, the Westward Bug. That comes out of my book, designed by Bob Chruch. This is his pattern. This is a slight variation to it. I haven't really done too much to alter the original pattern. Share this in a group. Fly tying patterns and videos. Join me on my first Talk and Tie happening right now. Alright, so I'm posting this on my Facebook group of fly tying patterns. This is my Veterans View for You channel. Everything is from the view of a veteran, I being that veteran. I got my start, about coming up on 3 years ago, outfit called Project Healing Waters. They've done so much for me. Got me started on tying flies out at the VA. It was part of a PTSD therapy program that was one of the recreational activities that was offered, and I have been hooked since day one, literally and figuratively. And I am by no means a subject matter expert on tying flies. This is how I do it. Every recipe kind of comes a little bit different. If you think about it, there's a million ways to make a chocolate chip cookie, but it's the care and love that's put into it that makes it all worthwhile. So let me check my Facebook page and see if that has any views. Doesn't say that I have any viewers. Maybe they're watching on Facebook. Can you view straight from Facebook? I don't know. Doesn't say that I have any viewers. Maybe they're watching on Facebook. Okay, well I guess maybe people can watch on Facebook. Sorry about the little echo transition I got going on there. I'm watching the stream, monitoring the chat on my YouTube page, Veterans View for You, on Facebook. But I guess if I have a couple people watching, I will go ahead and get started. I'm using a Mustad 3906B. It's a size 12. Nice old hook, good quality. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's lost its charm. So I'm operating here off of my smartphone. It's a Samsung Galaxy, if that means anything to you out there. One of the modes is live under the camera settings, and that's what we're doing here. We are streaming live on a Talk and Tie. If anybody wants to talk about anything in particular, just go ahead and punch something up in the comments on the YouTube channel. So anyways, I'm going to get this size 12 Mustad hook in the vise, and I will cast on some thread that I'm using. It is a pretty standard thread used. It's a uni thread, 8/0. Relatively thinner option to use. So a few wraps to get that thread started. Doesn't take much. I know some people, they'll take a whole bunch of string and really work that out. First thing I'm going to tie on is some lead. This is 0.020. I don't know if that's in millimeters or inches. I guess it wouldn't be in millimeters because then it would just be millimeters. So I guess that's 2/100 of an inch, I suppose. Real soft, real malleable, really pliable, easy to work with. So to start off, I'm going to do 2 sticks on either side. This will kind of help build up the overall shape of the fly, giving it a little bit of a wider, broader stance, if you will. That lead is so soft, just a couple turns on it, it just pops right off. So I'm going to try to keep that nice and flat. Come up here to the other side. Just a few wraps to get it started. I really want to make sure it's pushed up on the other side. So looking straight down on it, almost looks like a hot dog bun with 2 pieces of lead for the bun. I get this piece up there a little bit. There we go. Close enough. Close enough. Get that locked down nice and good. Don't want that lead slipping around or slipping off. So the tail material that we're using is a pheasant tail. Now it's pretty beat up. Usually you want to use these kind of more fine fibers. The ones that have all been trimmed off on the left side of this feather here. But I'm still going to use it anyways. I like using material, what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and puff out, I don't know, maybe eight fibers or so. How many do you think that is? I don't know, it might be 10 to a dozen. Doesn't take much. So nice and close, always right up on the stem. trim that off. I'm going to tie a few of these up throughout the live stream and just kind of keep talking as I go. How about them Cubs? World Series, Cubs and the Cleveland Indians. Kind of hard to believe. Both are very well deserving teams. They both played an excellent season. I myself will be cheering on the Cubs. I'm a lifelong Cubs fan. I grew up going to see the Chicago Cubs play quite often. Alright, so what I did is I tied in the tail there, and I ran the rest of this material forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it back over itself and tie it down again. What that did is that brought the longer fibers that I'm going to be using for the one last fold over, covering the dubbed body and whatnot. So, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody watching? Is there anybody listening? Just nod if you can hear me. Be sure to click subscribe on that YouTube channel, Veterans View for you. Going to be doing these live streams from time to time. Probably on Sundays, probably about the same time, around the 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern time zone. I started this one a little early just to kind of get any of the bugs worked out. But the next piece of material I'm going to tie in is this orange. It's an orange silk floss. At least I think it's silk. It's pretty fragile like silk. And I honestly think it's a little more yellow than orange, but I'm going with what was inscribed on the packaging. So I like to go up underneath and lift that working thread up and over. I think it really helps to lock things down. A little bit of extra here. Trim off with the scissors. For those of you who are joining in live, I suppose I can send this video, upload this video after it's done, so you can go back and watch how it's done again. So once I got that orange goldish silk floss tied in, I'm going to go to my next step is applying the dubbing. This is a natural, kind of a brownish tannish dubbing. I don't know what species it is. It feels natural. The fibers on it look authentic. Could be rabbit, could be one of anything. Really not sure, but I like it. If you're trying to tie this at home, I could just do experimentations. The original recipe calls for a tan marabou, and I didn't have any tan marabou. I got the fruit flavor shine of orange, cherry, lemon, and lime, but no tan marabou. And I kid you not on those colors, folks. Fruit flavor shine, orange, cherry, lemon, and lime. A lot of colors for marabou, but no tan. So I decided to use a dubbing. So to do my dubbing, I'm going to apply a little bit of wax. I used to just omit this step, but as I get more into tying, I find that you can't really take shortcuts. There are substitutes. I know sometimes when I'm really having a finicky time with this dubbing, I'll use the oil just on the outside of my nose. Not in my nose, but not putting any boogers on there. But we all have that little oil spot where the glasses would hit you. So, continuing on, I just add a nice good dubbing body. I got myself a Canada Dry ginger ale. Kind of help quench the thirst. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to add a little bit more wax and a little bit more dubbing. I want want the body to be a little bit bulkier up front than it is in the back. Kind of taper that up a little bit. So easy enough, just add a little bit more dubbing. I'm going to work my way back and forth on this end a little bit. There we go. I think that did it. I think that was enough. Just have to ask the fish, see what they think about it. I'm going to check, see if anybody is checking me out online. From what I can tell, no, but I don't know. So I don't think that came up. Maybe if I go back to my page and I can share this on a group, and we'll do the fly tying patterns and videos. Hopefully that won't get me in trouble. I don't want to step on any boundaries, but you know, it is fly tying videos, patterns and videos, so definitely covering covering both. Let's see here, and on a page that I manage, and we'll do talk and tie on YouTube. Okay, so now this is it's been posted on a couple different places on Facebook. It's searchable on YouTube. Veterans View for You. Anyways, I got my dubbing body is affixed, tied in. Go with this nice silk floss. Really want to be careful around that hook. The tip of that hook with that with this silk floss. It's really fragile. It's really strong, but it's really fragile. Just kind of give this a nice, evenly spaced ribbing to it. Up to the front. Lock down my material. Pass my bobbin over a few times. It's kind of hard to monitor. I hope this is staying in focus. Once again, I am using my smartphone. I am working over it as it is right in front of me, between myself and my vise. That way you get the unique view of the fly tier's perspective. I got one little stray. And one little stray. Alright, now I have the body is built. I'm going to take this pheasant tail that I used for the tail. I'm going to fold that over. I really wanted to cover that top side of that body pretty well. If I had just gone with the original portion of where this portion of that feather was tied in, the strands that would come over here that are actually buried underneath, they would be a little narrower. I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, maybe it helps. We'll have to let the fish decide. I like to come underneath with my bodkin and help give that a little puff out. There we go. How's that look? I think that looks all right. We got one stray. And we'll isolate it and give him a pull. There we go. I like it. So I'm going to give it a couple more locking wraps. I'm going to lift that up, do a couple back there. That way when I really wrench down on it, it doesn't want it to come undone. Nice close trim. And we'll lock the rest of that down. I think that in itself is a fairly decent looking fly. Sometimes people come in and they like to trim all that stuff off. Maybe the big stuff. But I don't know, I kind of like having those on there. Looks a little bit buggier, if you will. Let's see, has anybody joined on the page? Oh, I got 2 links on there. I will delete one. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Talk and Tie live is still going on. Going strong. I got 3 thumbs up on it. Oh, I got a thumbs up on my cast. Let's see, is anybody on the chat? Nope. If you want to make a comment on the YouTube page, Veterans View for you, the number 4 followed by the letter U. That's how I am monitoring what's being said in the comments. So I am going to tie in the wing or legs or whatever you want to call it. I'm just using some partridge soft tackle here. Not the greatest material. It was kind of what came along in my beginner's kit. And I still have some of this stuff floating around, so might as well use it up. Got this real soft stuff down there. I don't want to use any of that. And we'll just get that out of the way. And since I know when I'm going to tie this on, I want it to spin this way, clockwise. I'm just going to go ahead and take a few more of those top barbs out so it's a little uneven, and leave myself a little bit of a stem to work with. Looks kind of cattywampus, but it really helps to tie that in. So I can get right on it. Do one soft wrap to grab it. Make sure I want that where I want that stem to end. I'm really up here. I kind of crowded the eye a little bit. Definitely could have left myself a wee bit more room. But hey, what do you do? Alright, got that locked in nice and tight. I'll give that a little lift up. I'll coax some of those fibers out. Pull out the old hackle pliers. And I'm going to fold the hair fibers back as this goes around. And hopefully all will be well. And I think these might be a little bit too long, proportionate wise, for this fly. In fact, I can almost guarantee you some of the critics out there would agree that that's a little bit too long for that size hook, but that's what I'm using. Not going to change it right away. This is more about the talk and tie than it is tying the perfect fly. Once I got my hackle tied in there, we can go ahead and clean that all up. I really like giving it a good solid head on the front. And to secure everything down, we'll use the whip finish tool. Now let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns on that, and we can lock that down nice and tight. And that, my friends, is my variation of the Westward Bug. It's a good trout fly. It is out of my it's a good book. It's the Illustrated Dictionary of Trout Flies by John Roberts. It's a good book. A lot of great material in there. So those of you who are out there that are watching, that are in publishing, please incorporate better pictures on your fly tying books. When it's black and white and you really can't see what's the point of the picture? But moving forward, I do enjoy reading the books. A lot of times they have a little bit of backstory on who the inventor or original creator was of that fly. You know, I was with so and so and such river, and you know, it was a terrible day until I modified this fly into that fly. And every third cast, I had a 20-inch Johnny on the end of the line. No kidding. It's like fish on. But this tying flies, it's a great escape. I kind of get sucked into the news and what's blasted out there on social media. Current events. The election is pretty depressing this time of year. I think it does more harm than good. You know, I can't believe how much money is spent on an election. Just imagine all the good that could have been done had those funds been spent elsewhere. So that's the Westward Bug. We're going to tie up another one. I'm going to go through it all over again. Get the hook and the vise. Once again, I'm using it's a Mustad. It's a sprout hook made by Mustad & Son, Oslo, Norway. It is a 3906B. It's an extra long shank. I think I measured it out as a 1X. Made in Norway, size 12. It's a great little hook. Passed on to me by a very kind and generous person. So, we'll check the chat. Nobody's made any comments in the comment section. So feel free to get on that YouTube channel, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit that share button, spread the word. I have a lot of good information on my regular portion of my YouTube channel. I am using a uni thread. It's an 8/0. It's a good thread. I like it. Nice and solid. I very rarely have it break off. And if it does break off, it's my own fault. Usually using way too much tension on something. But, I don't know. This is something new for Veterans View for you. I found it kind of interesting that one of my most popular videos was the Stolen Valor video that I created. Get that led a little bit more forward. There we go. And what I presume, and you'll have to let me know, is if that is because people were looking for shaming videos where, yeah, there's some guy dressed up in a military uniform and he's all snafu'd up and foobarred and chewed up from the boot up, tore up from the floor up. Stolen valor 100%. And somebody with a video camera, their smartphone, and they get right in their face. Which, I don't know. I don't know if that really helps anything by getting in somebody's face like that. You know, it's one thing to call them out, pull your camera on them. There's no sense of yelling at the poor guy. I mean, the odds are there's mental health issues involved. And being person that lives with PTSD. I have found myself in many of mental health clinics and areas, and you know, it's really no laughing matter, mental health. I mean, it's a tough world out there, and there's no sense in making it any harder on anybody else just because they're a little different. The fish will not know the difference. Frank Cox. Welcome, Frank. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a brand new thing. You're getting in on the ground floor. I'm going to tie in some tail section here using this pheasant tail. It's all chewed up. Not the prettiest, but like our good friend Frank just said, the fish do not know the difference. You know, it's interesting because, you know, the different aspects of fishing. There's the fisherman's perspective, there's the fish's perspective, and then there's, I don't know, the people that have to hear the stories. I mean, definitely, without a doubt, fish get longer and bigger the more the story gets told. But they say there's two types of fishing stories. The one that you caught and the one that got away. Get that tail short up there nice and short. Not much. It doesn't need much. Alright, I'm going to run this thread forward to bury some of this pheasant tail down. And this is just using up some of that more narrow fibers. And then as I fold it back, it goes right over to the end of that lead. And if I didn't mention, I got that lead wire stacked in there. Proportionate wise, I went to the tip of the hook, and I went to the same when I got this piece ran back in. That way when it does fold back over, it's just that pheasant tail material. All the rest of the stuff will be locked in there. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit of this beautiful gold orange floss. It's just labeled orange. It's kind of flossy. I think it's a little more golden than orange, but that's what I'm working with. I tie this in, and I found with like long materials like this, I can go underneath that underneath the hook and grab my thread, and I can even lift that up, set that down, and without doing any more work, it locks it down, it holds it down. Camera type and how to set up for this broadcast. Very easy. I am using my Samsung Galaxy S6 smartphone, and on the corner I have a little option that says mode, and I already had my YouTube channel set up, so you'll have to go through all that hoopla and have a YouTube channel set up, verified account and all that. And on my phone I just hit this mode, and there is a live button. Sets it up and goes straight from my phone onto the www interweb and gets beamed out across the world. And then off to my left I have my laptop. It's a small little Google Chromebook, and that's how I can see the chat. I cannot see the chat from my phone. My phone is essentially just my camera. I hope I don't get any incoming calls. I really wouldn't know what to do. But anyways, back to the fly. I have my gold floss tied in there nice and good. I really don't mind building this up a little bit. I'm using a really fine 8/0 thread. Could definitely be a little bit bigger. I'm gonna add some dubbing now, so I'm going to take some of this wax, add a little bit of wax to my my thread. Well, thanks for joining Frank. Something I thought about, and I did a lot of different videos for my YouTube channel, veterans related, pretty much exclusively. You know, talk about stolen valor, what it means to be a veteran, etc., etc. And I always wanted to do a live stream, but it's kind of hard to just sit there and babble on and on and on about veteran-related topics. And since then, I've gotten really involved with tying flies. I volunteer twice or once a week for 2 hours at my local VA medical center with an outfit called Project Healing Waters. It's where I learned, and it's where I teach now. So once a week I go out there and talk to the boys and girls that are inpatients at the VA. We do have some outpatients that do join us. I was that guy for a little while, playing the outpatient card. Really want to build that up. There we go. I think that's beautiful. But once a week out there, I teach how to tie the good old woolly bugger. Nothing gets as fun and as basic as the woolly bugger. I think it is, if not the best fly to learn how to tie. It teaches you proportion. You learn how to properly cast on your thread. You learn what a tie-in point is. You practice getting your thread to land at the same place every time. Accuracy. And with the woolly bugger, as I say out there, your imagination is your only limitation. Retired DOD, Fire Assistant Chief, Worker Project. All right, my friend Frank. U.S. Navy Fire Assistant Chief. Was that that's probably those big old guns you guys have on those Navy ships. That's pretty cool, Frank. Thank you for your service. Welcome home. Welcome home. You know, one of the questions I get a lot is, you know, hey, what can I do to really, you know, thank a veteran? And pretty much my standard response nowadays is, you know, just carry yourself about like a person worth fighting for. You know, there's a whole bunch of people that get out on that line and put themselves out there, protecting your rights and your freedom, whether you want it or not. They stand guard. So anyways, I have this partridge soft hackle. This came in my little beginner's first beginner's kit. You know, I think on the last fly I discovered proportion wise it's pretty much too big for this fly, for this size hook. But I got it out and I'm streaming, and I don't want to waste any time digging through my drawers. I just recently retrofitted a closet that's in my basement, and I don't like to call it a man cave. It's my other hobby is model trains, so for lack of better terminology we can just call it the train room. But my closet in here I have dubbed the fly bunker. It's been quite the transition. Alright, got that feather locked and secured. I'm going to grab my hackle pliers up at the tip. And see down here, I'm going to fold these fibers back. And when I do that, when I go over that stem, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pinch. And that'll really help keep things tracking towards the rear. It's a really short feather. Don't get too much material out of it, but I'm not looking for a big puff. I just want to get some of those fibers back there on the back side. Okay, got a couple of wraps on that just to lock it down. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Lock that in nice and secure. I do strip off a few of the barbs on the one side, on the far side, to really help it lay down. But this being such a small feather, I wanted to get as much out of it as I could. But you are absolutely right there. Oh my goodness. Huh. This is the beauty of live streaming. Guess what we get to do? We get to untie a fly. I forgot a step. As I was. Maybe. Let's shorten up this thread. You really don't realize how much thread you go through until you untie your fly. Okay, so we're back to this step. What I forgot to do was take this pheasant tail and fold it up and over. Give it a wing casing. And once again, I like to get underneath it with my bodkin. Not much. Just to give that a little, just to tough that out so it's more of a hump than not a hump. Couple more wraps, lock that down, do a few under. There we go. I almost finished that fly with it being halfway done. All right, so this is the suggestion to strip half the feathers off. So we'll give that a try. Bada boom, bada bing. And I'm still gonna give this a cut down here. Because what I like, I don't know if the camera can pick it up or not, but there's the small barbs are there at the bottom that are cut. And I like to think that those help lock that stem in, grabbing like little fingers. So that top half has been stripped off, and that bottom half is still full of barbs. And we'll run this on. Maybe the camera did pick that up. So it does get a few of those barbs there locked in between the thread. There we go. And we'll grab it with the hackle pliers again. And this really helps it to lay down. Yeah. It definitely kept things lined up a little bit better. I'm sure if I was using a proper soft hackle feather, I'm sure I could have got a lot more out of it. Yeah, less is more. Sparse is nice. Sparse is nice. And we'll lock that down. And there we have it. Give it the old 1-2 whip finish. And that is a slight variation to a fly called the Westward Bug. I don't know, it'll fish. Got a couple fibers up by the eye, but we're still learning. Still having a good time though. Going in the fly box. Let's see, still got plenty of time. So we're gonna wash, rinse, and repeat. Add another fly to the box. I generally like, when I'm learning a pattern, I like to do about 9 or so of the same pattern. So 1, 2, 3. Boy, I got quite a few of these tied up already. Let's see. How did they? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will make number 6. Be sure to hit that share button, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. They say less is more, but I love subscribers. That way you'll be the first to know on my next live stream, which I'm planning on doing next Sunday. It's a good day off for me. Usually do not have too much stuff scheduled. Otherwise, I am busy all day long. Mike, I'm gonna write your name down on my whiteboard, which is my backdrop here. I'll be sure to check your Facebook page. I am on the Facebook page Fly Tying Patterns and Videos quite regularly. I get a lot of ideas and inspiration. It's actually kind of interesting. I see a lot of, I saw a woolly bugger, and then I posted a couple woolly buggers that I tied up. And then 3 other people posted pictures of woolly buggers. And I just like how the ideas and creativity feeds off of one another. It's really interesting. I'm not going to say it's sad, but it's really interesting to see some of the newer people join in and post a picture of their very first fly they've ever tied in their entire life, and they just tear it down like it's the worst thing in the world. And I could all but guarantee you, 90% of them will catch a fish. Any fly is guaranteed to catch a fish in the right waters, under the right moon, and the right circumstances. So never discount anything that you've tied, even your failures. I hang on to all of mine. Unless it's to the point where I really have learned my lesson from that fly and that it meets this guy. And I just go and I just strip off the hook and start from scratch. And usually that's after I've learned a few lessons on it and fished it for a while. Otherwise, I hang on to all those mistakes. They're pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Alright, so tying up another Westward Bug. Once again, that Mustad 3906B. Using a black uni-thread 8/0. I'm using that size 12 hook. Get my thread started here. And it usually doesn't take much to get that thread started. First piece of material that gets tied in there is this lead wire. It's .020. It's interesting that they did not put the 0 on the left side of the decimal, but they added the thousandths 0. I don't get that. It doesn't make much sense to me. Anyways, I'm going to start here even with the tip of the hook, and I'm going to run this to just shy of the eye. And to get started, I'm just going to do really loose wraps. Get my thread over there. And then once you get, a wrap or two around just the shank of the hook, it really helps mitigate material spinning. Normally I would cut wire, but this lead is so soft, just a couple, they call it the helicopter method. Usually I'll cut the wire off. Alright, I'm going on the far side of the hook now. And I'm going to try to keep that on the same length. And I want this to be on the left side, or the far side. as much as I can. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it if it does go a little sideways. So my plans are maybe this Christmas we're looking into upgrading our upgrading on the computer system, and I'm probably going to end up getting a webcam. That way I can not use my phone and go tie straight into the computer. Facebook is what showed up, and I clicked on it, and I go to YouTube. Very nice, thank you, Frank. Maybe we'll get a few more viewers. It says that I have 3 according to my phone, so I know one is myself on my other computer. So Frank plus a mystery. Alright, so I'm going to add some pheasant tail here. It's not the greatest of quality, but like I said, you know, it's what I have. I don't know if you want to call that a hook's length worth. And we'll cut that right off. With the tips nice and in line. Just going to set this here on the back side. And I'm doing this on the shank of the hook, just rear of that lead. And we're going to shorten that up because I just want the tips. And then I can lock this down. And I brought that forward so I could use up some of this material. Make sure I end up on the top side. Beautiful. It's interesting just kind of talking, being the only one to talk and occasionally read something. So who's your pick for the World Series? If I had money, I'd put it on the Cubs. But then again, if I had money, I would have bought tickets to the World Series. And I was looking at just some standing room only tickets were, I don't know, $3,000. No, thank you. I love my Cubbies, but not $3,000 worth. All right. This time I was able to keep those ends nice and in line. And right there to my point. And I'm just going to wrap that up a little bit. Drape that off the back. And it is time to get my dubstep on. I always think of the Rastas on the beach, listening to some dub radio. Some Biba da Baba da Boba, O Rastafari. Oh no, sorry, bumped the camera. My apologies. That's another thing that's on my Christmas wish list. Is a tripod. Then again, if I'm going to be upgrading to a webcam, well, hopefully it'll have its own little method of supporting itself. Anyways, now keeping in the tradition of sparseness, I got this dubbing here on my thread, and I'm going to keep it really thin in the back, and then I'm going to bulk up a little bit here towards the front. It's going to take 2 trips to the dub store. There we go. Nice and tight on the noodle. I love the terminology sometimes, the dubbing noodle. It's a very good descriptor. It definitely is noodlish. Alright, we're going to stop there, and I will go with this orangish, yellowish floss. And I'm going to wrap counterclockwise, anti-clockwise, reverse wrap, counter wrap, however you want to say it. It is opposite of my dubbing and my working thread. I remember in college we were watching this scientific video and they said anti-clockwise, and the classroom just exploded in laughter, like they've never conceived of anything other than counterclockwise. Alright, this time I will remember. I should probably do another couple wraps. Here we go. Remember to take this pheasant tail, bring it up and over, and get a couple bites on that. I think this one will turn out a little bit better. I left a little bit more room up front. Get that bodkin under there, and that helps kind of let everything relax. Lock that down nice and good. Do a couple wraps down here. And the final trim on that. And make sure we got everything tucked away up front. And let's see here. Do I have any more? Reaching for a good soft hackle. This one might work. Could be a little bit better. Could be a little bit longer, but it's what I got. So anyways, I'm going to cut my little notch here. Then I'm going to cut a larger notch up on the top side. That's going to be all that I use. A couple soft wraps to get that locked in. Okay. I'm going to grab the tip of this feather with our hackle pliers. We're going to fold these fibers back as best as we can as we lay them down. And I really only get a wrap and a half, maybe two full wraps. Don't get much out of it. It's a short little feather, but that's all I need. And trim off the tip. Alright, and we'll lock that off and build up a little bit of a head up front. And we will go to a nice whip finish. Maybe the head's a little bit too big on that. Maybe I should go smaller head. I don't know, each one's a little bit different. And then later on I might add a little bit nope. That was the TV. That was your computer. That was not. Nice. Springfield, Ohio. So that is another variation of what is called the Westward Bug. So anyways, be sure to hit me up. I'm on Veterans View for You is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and here on YouTube. Be sure to follow along. I always post pictures of flies that I tie, interesting things that come across my life. Twitter, I really don't tweet too much. It's just more of a bouncing board for some of my other social media outlets. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G+, Google+. Really enjoying this, tying flies and just kind of shooting the breeze as we go along. I think we got time for one more. One more. What do you think? Time for one more? I think so. All right, to the pile you go. And for the final time this evening, I'll take a sip of my drink. This is a slight variation of the Westward Bug. Mustad 3906, size 12. Using a black uni thread. It's an 8/0. Green label. And like all things in life, you gotta cast on your line. So I'll shoot for the middle of the hook. Take a few wraps, make sure that thread is locked down. It's amazing how much us fly tiers really depend on this little principle called gravity. Well, thanks for tuning in, Frank. Enjoy your supper. Gravity is always is our friend because it's keeping all of our line down so you can go use your two hands for something else. Alright, so I'm going to tie in some weight. I am using a lead wire, imaginary 0.020. That last zero is redundant and should be moved to the left side of that decimal. That's just my opinion, but what do I know? I know nothing. Anyways, I am going to tie this in on the side, the near side of the hook. I'm going to do the same on the far side of the hook. Give this fly a little bit of added weight. Help it sink a little bit faster. Twist off this lead. Straighten it back out. And this is kind of the difficult. You can't really see it on the camera. But we're getting it locked in. You kind of have to keep going back and smushing it with your thumb. I'll let that whole thing roll. We'll get this out of the way. And my next vise will be a full rotary. It's going to be a interesting transition away from my Regal. Kind of went through the whole evolution of fly tying vices. The first one was, I don't know, it was a good one, but it was a cheapo. It came with a kit, like all beginners kits. They don't throw you the greatest of quality, but it worked. It served its purpose. I will always maintain it as a spare. Who knows? I might come across somebody that might need to borrow it. Let's see here. I think my screen's frozen up. Yep. But I'm gonna keep going with this. Even though my computer is frozen, it still says that I am live streaming. And we'll knock this out here in the next few minutes. So anyways, I'm gonna add a little bit of pheasant tail here. It's not the greatest of quality, but it'll work. Get those tips matched in. Hold it right there on the back side. Doesn't really matter how much you have on either side, because you're just going to come through and shorten that up a little bit. Do a little bit more. I really don't want much. And I'm going to wrap this up the shank of the hook a little bit and fold it back over itself, keeping that nice and flat. And on top, I want this to be nice and centered on the back side, all the way there. There we go. All right, time to add some orange floss. Don't know what happened to the computer. It just kaputted. I don't know why. It's plugged in. It's got full power. That's why we're in the market for a new computer. Get that locked in there nice and tight, and it's going to say, "Oh smack, something crashed." Log back in here and see if I can't find my live stream. Yeah, restore. There we go. See if the comments come back up. See if I have anybody watching. Alright. Well, apparently I don't have anybody watching, but whether you watch or not, I am going to talk and tie, because that's what I build this as. Talk and tie. Alright, once I got that orange thread tied back on there, I am going to get ready to add some dubbing. It's a natural brown tannish dubbing. Don't know the species of it. Could be rabbit, could be something else. It's really fine. I like it. Goes on nice and easy. So when you are working with your dubbing, you don't want to do too much at once. That's a little ridiculous there. It's hardly anything as far as length. Plenty big as far as the thickness. So I'm going to evenly space this out, and at about the halfway point I'm going to start to build that up a little bit. Not too much. Don't want to throw too much on there. It's a big bug, but I remember it's only a size 12 hook. And a little bit more. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. This is my first talk and tie here on YouTube. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Please spread the word. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Share it. Hit that share button. Tell your buddies. Tell your boyfriends. Tell your girlfriends. Tell your mom. Just shout it on the world. Aaron's Talk and Tie Veterans View for you. Okay, you're gonna take this thread. I'm gonna do some counter wraps. Wrap opposite direction of the dubbing. Build up a little bit of a ribbing action. Really like working with this floss. It's kind of magical. It's really fragile, but it's really tough at the same time. Many of wars have been fought for silk. Alright, so I got the body all tied in. I'm going to take my wing casing, that pheasant, and fold it forward. Take 2 good wraps on it. come with my bodkin here and get that in there just to help poof that out, give that a little bit of extra poofiness. Come forward for a few wraps, do a few more locking wraps back there. Come through and trim. Alright, going to do a few more wraps, kind of lock that all down. And now it is time for this. I'm going to do a little partridge soft hackle action on there. And do a little snip on the bottom and a little bit bigger snip on the top. That gives me a place to really lock this down and anchor things in. So, I am going to post this video. It won't be, obviously I won't be live anymore. But if you are watching along, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment box. I'd like to hear from my viewers. Any patterns you'd like to see me try. I'm game for pretty much everything. I'd probably tie a million flies to one that I actually fish with. Because to me tying is so valuable. People ask me, oh, Aaron, you ever sell your flies? Well, I don't know who would actually buy them. All the people that I know are people that tie, and that's the sport of it for us, some of us. But if you don't tie and you just go fishing, hey, you got it. As long as you're fishing. I got a couple stray fibers down here. I want to pop these guys out. Here we go. We'll call that good. Come through and trim off that tip. Fold all that back and lock everything down. Lock down, building the head. Alright. Last piece of the puzzle is the whip finish. There you go. And I'll do one more just because. Here we go. That is a variation of the Westward Bug. I call it a variation because I didn't follow the recipe to the T. I had to improvise a little bit, but the fish are going to love it. It's got that nice humpback on there. Good collar around the front. Let's see if we can't get those to pop out. Oh well. I think it'll fish, guys and gals. You tell me. Alright, well, plan on going to 7, but I'm at a good stopping point. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is Veteran's View for you. My name is Aaron. I am a veteran. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, 6 o'clock Eastern. You guys can crunch the numbers for the rest of your time zones. So once again, thank you for joining me on my first ever YouTube live stream, Talkin' Tie. So thank you, enjoy, have a great night, tight lines, happy fishing.